As spring brings with it its promise of new beginnings, I am thrilled that America and France are now allies. I'm certain this new alliance will bring peace. The British will have no stomach for being drawn into a world war with France. However, I have a grave concern. So grave that I have sent this note by secret messenger to ensure its safe arrival. The Minister of France will arrive on United States shores in a month. We must greet him as one united nation, not 13 separate states. Please convey my deepest sense of urgency to Henri Laurens and the other members of Congress to set aside their differences and speak with a strong, united voice.
Virginia's arguments make no sense.
Maryland's arguments are madness.
Their voices might not be united, but they are strong.
Gentlemen, 3 years have passed since Benjamin Franklin wrote a draft of these Articles of Confederation, and we still cannot find the resolve to pass them. As president of this Congress, I find this shameful.
Hear, hear.
We'll approve them when they are fair.
Mr. Chase is being unreasonable.
Mr. Lee is being ridiculous.
Excuse me, Mr. Laurens. This just arrived.
News from Dr. Franklin in France. The French minister will arrive in less than 1 month. He must see us as a united nation, or our critical alliance with France may not stand. Gentlemen, our very freedom is at stake.
I knew this was going to happen.
Listen to me!
I say, Maryland, your time has come.
I sometimes wish Congress were more like the army. One person gives orders, and others follow without question.
Sort of like having a king.
Huh?
Why not identify the specific points of contention and address them one by one?
I second that motion.
Virginia and Maryland agree? It's a miracle.
This way! Over here!
If you're going to be my assistant, you've got to learn to be on time and to not run into the journalist.
Sorry, what did I miss?
See those women over there? They're Philadelphia washerwomen and spies for General Washington.
Real spies!
They say the British officers have demanded their laundry by next week, whether it's finished or not. You know what that means.
They don't care if they wear dirty clothes?
No, it means the British are finally withdrawing from Philadelphia. This is a huge story for me.
Sure is, but what happens to the spies when you write it?
Ladies, you have done your country a great service. Thank you. We have before us a great opportunity. Mr. Hamilton, call a war council for this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Wow! Did you see that?
Sure. General Washington is working with the Wappinger to form an Indian company to fight the British.
I was talking about his feathers. Excusez-moi, but those are the most wonderful feathers I have ever seen.
I earned them in a tribal contest.
You have to win them in a contest?
These, yes, but there are plenty of other turkey feathers around. All you have to do is catch a turkey and pluck a feather.
Gentlemen, we have identified the 3 major issues that block our ratification of the Articles of Confederation. 1, how to divide the expenses of a central government among the different states.
It's absurd. A state like mine, Maryland, with limited land and resources, cannot be expected to pay the same for this war as Lee's Virginia, which claims vastly more territory and the right to expand.
Vastly more territory?
Well said, but ridiculous.
Where are you going?
Outside. It's too windy in here.
Here, turkey, 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 turkey. Not fair. You're supposed to hold still.
In spite of the British withdrawal from Philadelphia, and in spite of their slow retreat, I can hardly credit your desire to attack them, General. Only a fool would seriously consider such a move.
Sir, you are speaking to your...
Oh, it's tantalizing to be sure, but it's exactly what they want us to do. Right, Achilles? Let's not deceive ourselves. The British have been in control of this war from the outset.
I suppose that's why they've replaced General Howe with General Clinton.
It is hardly for us to second-guess the greatest army in the world. Clinton is an able soldier with many a victory to his credit. General Greene, how many battles have you won? Or, for that matter, has our commander-in-chief?
Sir, you're not going to accept these outrageous slurs on your honor.
What the American soldier does best is run away. General Washington wisely knows this, and no doubt will soon recognize the folly of mounting any sort of attack.
So, we're to do nothing and waste this golden opportunity to strike at our foe?
Sadly, Monsieur Lafayette, it is not for me, the most experienced soldier here, to make that decision.
Gentlemen, I suggest we adjourn for a while so that I might consider your counsel.
Whose side is General Lee on, anyway?
I'm starting to wonder why we bought him out of British custody. At least we could have left behind his poodles.
They shame their French blood. I finally found a dumb one. Just a little further. Whoa. Ouch!
That's an unusual way to hunt turkey.
It's how you tell a smart one from a dumb one.
The turkey or the hunter?
Hunter, I'm afraid. I'm Henri.
Abraham Nimham. I could teach you an easier way to hunt turkey. The way of my people, the Wappinger.
That would be great! Only, could you get me down first?
Since we have failed to resolve the issue of how to split federal expenses, could we at least agree on how each state is to be represented in Congress?
We have a perfectly adequate system now. One state, one vote.
Are there any objections to the present arrangement?
If they can agree on this, maybe they can agree on the other points.
Then we are in accord.
Aye!
Finally, let's push on to the next issue.
Mr. President, Maryland insists that General Washington deliver us a victory on the field of battle. Why not? A victory would impress the French more than any act this Congress might pass.
Mr. Chase, this Congress can't even agree on whether or not Washington is worthy of his command. Let us get back to the business at hand.
He speaks the truth.
Never mind Washington, let's get to the articles!
Leave him alone to do his job, and let's do ours.
Some delegates don't believe in General Washington?
All of them could use more of the general's determination to unite this country.
When will they come?
Their retreating column is 8 to 10 miles long?
Yes, and despite the heat, they wear wool uniforms and carry full packs. They are struggling.
Gentlemen, I believe we should seize this opportunity to strike the enemy while he is most vulnerable. What do you say?
We could easily attack their flank and rear without getting into a full-blown battle.
We'll never have a chance like this again. I say we fight!
General Lee?
I am passionately opposed to such an action. Lee, your opposition to this attack borders on treachery. I'm sorry, sir, no. It's logic. I risk disaster when a French alliance is so near to hand.
Because we must show the French we are worthy of an alliance, sir.
And with a victory, deal the British a double blow. We shall attack. That is my decision, and it is final. General, command of the striking force is yours. 1,500 men.
I'm sorry. I must refuse. $1,500 men. Paltry number. I had to turn it down on principle. Isn't that so, Achilles? Washington wouldn't dare engage the enemy without me. He knows that I am his military superior. He's not fit to command a sergeant guard. No, he won't move forward without me. If he does, it will be the end of him.
We'll have 1,500 men, and if we come up on their flank, we'll be able to take them over.
You mustn't breathe a word to anyone. These are military secrets.
My dear Marquis, if Lee stays true to his conviction and refuses to lead this attack, I'll need you to step in.
Your Excellency, I'll begin drawing up plans immediately.
I've called this private meeting so that we three might reach an agreement about the most difficult issue before us. Then we can talk to the others. The states with western territories like Maryland will be asked to hand them over to the central government.
What will we get in return?
We can't expect either side to be completely happy, Samuel.
You're a sly one, Henry, making it Richard and my responsibility to convince our colleagues.
Sam, we must end this impasse.
Excuse me for interrupting.
Good evening, Miss Phillips. Washington intends to engage the enemy. This is it, gentlemen. Washington must win this battle.
Hurry, Henri! They're reviewing the battle plans. Whoa, excuse us.
I understand that you've placed 5,000 men under the command of a 20-year-old boy.
Not a boy, sir. The Marquis de Lafayette.
Half the army. I am insulted, sir.
General, you turned down the command.
I disapproved of the strategy. Nevertheless, my honor requires that I now take charge of what has become a major engagement.
You are entitled to the command, General. It It is yours if you want it. You will attack tomorrow at dawn, concentrating horse and battery on the British west flank at Monmouth. I suspected he'd come around.
Let's hope he fights as fiercely on the field as he does at headquarters.
General Lee?
I have been charged by Washington to take over here. I'll require a full accounting of your forces. Cavalry, artillery, and infantry.
Certainement. And I can show you my plans.
I have no use for your plans.
Of course. You have your own.
No, to draw up plans is pointless, as the enemy is on the march. I shall improvise my strategy in response to his movements.
Our forces are now positioned to give Lee complete support. Gentlemen, it has begun.
Look at all those feathers! One of you drop me a feather!
Henri, come back here! We need to stay with Henri! Henri! Where are you? Henri, come on!
You there, Pfeiffer! Where are you going?
Our troops are in retreat, sir.
He's telling the truth. Look!
Gobble, 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 gobble. Gobble, 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 gobble.
Henri!
Oh, you cost me my feather!
You're lucky it wasn't your life.
There's General Poodles.
General Lee, what's he doing here?
Look, regarde!
Lee, what on this earth are you about?
I have ordered a general retreat.
You coward! That is contrary to my orders.
Coward? The soldiers, your soldiers, are out of control, constantly disobeying me. I found myself in the most extensive plain in America, where such troops as I commanded would be helpless before the enemy horse. And as you well know, I was against this from the start.
All this may be true, but you should not have undertaken it unless you intended to go through with it.
Open your eyes! These farmers are no match for the British Army.
Quit the field, sir. You are relieved of your command.
Don't be ridiculous. I'm the only professional soldier you have.
I will not suffer you to scorn these worthy men, let alone command them for 1 minute more. Yeah! I will not allow us to lose this battle. Take positions behind those hedgerows and hold that ridge. We are through running.
Washington, what a hero!
And what a story!
Despite the awful heat, our reorganized troops turned away several enemy assaults. Though the day ended in a draw, the British have learned new respect for the fighting resolve of our army. In your service, General George Washington. Gentlemen, we remain at a stalemate in our effort to pass the Articles of Confederation. This is the kind of fortitude and discipline we need if we are to become one nation. I can only hope we're capable of it.
We can do it!
Hear, hear.
We are
Hear,
capable!
hear.
We can be one nation!
Hear, hear.
We must unite!
In the the longest battle of the war so far, our commander-in-chief has shown the world he deserves that title. And Washington has agreed, with deep regret, to grant General Lee a court-martial. It's been an exhausting time for soldier and civilian alike. But we've all learned that even the best plans are meaningless without the discipline and determination to see them through. Ha! Speaking of exhausted.
Sarah, this is a mistake. The journey will take months.
That's why I've hired a fine, dependable guide, Mr. Pettyjohn.
And Ohio is wild.
Bears, Sarah! Wolves!
It's the frontier. It's uncivilized.
You know I appreciate your concern, but neither Mother nor I have had a letter from Father in years. We must find out if he's all right. I must find out.
That's twice what carrots cost me a few weeks ago. How am I supposed to feed my children? Yes, Peter, I know you're hungry.
I'm ready, please, Mr. Pettyjohn.
Wait for me!
Sarah, wait!
Do we have to shout it in your face? We're worried we'll never see you again.
I look forward to introducing you to Father.
At least let me come along to protect you.
Mr. Pettyjohn? Mr. Pettyjohn, where are you? My bag! Mr. Pettyjohn? Mr. Pettyjohn, come back! I've traveled 2 months and too far to fail. Please don't leave me, Mr. Pettyjohn. How far have I walked these past 2 days? I'm so hungry. I'll just rest for a moment. Oh, Father, where are you?
I am Cornstalk. No one will hurt you here. You're free to go. You're free to stay. Some white people stay.
I will leave as soon as I'm stronger.
I am glad you've come at this important moment. The meeting will begin soon. Running Deer found a white girl unconscious in the woods. She's scared of me. I will take you to her after I greet the other chiefs.
We can't afford ink at that price. That's almost half again what it cost last month.
That's not my problem, lad.
But we won't be able to publish the Gazette. How will the citizens get news of the war?
I have to eat too. Are you buying the ink or not?
Not.
Good day to you then.
How did you do that?
I have brought a white man.
Do you speak English? My name is Sarah Phillips.
My name is Samuel. Samuel Phillips.
Father?
Sarah, my Sarah. I thought you went back to London.
Father? Whiskers? Look at you!
I suppose I no longer look the proper British officer. But Sarah, the war! I wrote to you telling you to return to your mother. Your mother, is she well?
Yes, Father, she's well.
She's answered none of my letters. And neither have you. I was afraid.
I've received just 2 letters, Father. Nothing since 75. That's why I had to find you.
It's a miracle that you did. Sarah, have you fallen in love with this land as I have? Look at this place. Walking where no Englishman has walked before. Living with my hands. Not taking orders from anyone. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Attend, hot! You must tell me about yourself, Sarah. Look at you. I barely know you. Come, start as we walk back to the village. There's a tribal council I must attend with my friend, Chief Cornstalk.
We, the good citizens of Philadelphia, urgently request that the local militia expel from our town all disaffected persons and their supporters. You know what disaffected persons are? Working people who don't want to be poor, who want to feed their kids and aren't afraid to say so. We are the good citizens of Philadelphia. We're the real patriots. We're supporting this war on our backs. The rich want us to shut our mouths while their children stuff themselves. The rich people are not playing by the rules of our new country. All we want is a fair shake. Come to a meeting at Patty Burns' Tavern at 9 tomorrow and tell everyone you know.
And I'll report on the meeting in the Pennsylvania Gazette.
Excellent, lad. You rich man, are you scared of us poor working Americans? Maybe you're right to be scared.
We must fight the Americans. Why should we honor the Treaty of Camp Charlotte? The Americans haven't. They're supposed to let us live north of the Ohio River in peace. But they burn our fields. They cut down trees. They slaughter game for sport. They shoot at us on our shore. Why must we turn our backs when we're injured? We're losing our land, our lives, our self-respect. I don't say we should attack the Americans if they leave us alone. I say we should protect ourselves if they attack us, or else we will be destroyed.
I gave my word to the Americans that we would remain at peace. So did many of you. I have never gone back on my word. Have you? But one thing concerns me even more than my honor as a man: the survival of my people. If we fight the Americans, they will come at us until they destroy us. We do not have the strength to drive them out. Our best hope is that the Americans lose the white man's war to the English. I am a warrior. It is hard for me not to fight the Americans, but if we can survive this war and the English win, we will give our sons and our daughters and their sons and daughters a chance to survive too.
Well played, Sarah.
Sarah, you would be a good Shawnee.
Why, thank you, Ilinipsico.
That's a high compliment, Sarah. They believe most white people are bad people.
Our grandmothers told us so.
I haven't met your grandmother.
Our grandmother is the Shawnee's god.
Oh.
Our grandmother watches over us. She gives us good harvests and hunting trips and victory in games. Cornstalk! Red feather, what is it? Cornstalk! Our fishing party! American soldiers! I alone am alive.
We must move our village again.
No! We must defend ourselves!
My people are enraged by the Americans' violence. I don't know if I can keep the peace any longer. I am bound by honor to tell the Americans that. I must go to Fort Randolph. My son will go with me.
Let me go too. I know the commander, Matthew Arbuckle. Maybe I can help.
Let's send them a message they can't ignore. 3 years ago, James Wilson signed the Declaration of Independence. Now, he's a British sympathizer who's robbing us blind. I say we take Wilson, tar and feather him, and ride him out of town on a rail. Yeah!
Let's go. I want you boys away from trouble.
Wait! Don't do it!
Uh-oh.
The journalist! I thought you were with us.
I am with you. I'm with you that there needs to be justice for everyone. But this isn't justice. This is wrong. You don't just grab someone and hurt him.
I'm starting to think maybe there's another one who needs tar and feathering.
Forget the boy. Let's get Wilson.
Get Wilson! Let's go!
Father?
Yes, Sarah.
Are you English? Or are you American?
How many times I've asked myself the same question. The men at the fort consider me an American frontiersman now. And so do I.
I'm not sure Mother would be happy to hear that.
Nor am I. But I fell in love with this country just like I fell in love with her. It's freedom, Sarah. American freedom. I've traveled the world and there's nothing like it anywhere. And you, Sarah, are you an American?
I'd hope seeing you would convince me that I'm not.
Come!
Fort Randolph.
What will happen to the Shawnees if the Americans win the war?
I don't want to think about it.
Come out of there, you Tory!
Come and
James Wilson had been warned that he was the mob's target and withdrew into his sturdy home with 20 supporters.
Come out, Wilson, before we have to destroy your pretty house! Call for the cannon!
I will return to my people and urge them to leave this area, but they might attack you instead.
So, Chief, you're telling me it's possible that any second now we could be at war with the Shawnee?
Yes, I have warned you, and now we will go.
You're lucky you're a retired British major, Sam, or I'd have to throw you in the guardhouse with my new enemies here. Take them, keep them safe.
But Matthew!
Sir, Cornstalk came here in peace and honor to warn you about the very people he tried to talk out of attacking you.
Sam, I suggest you take your daughter as far from this place as you can.
Joseph Reed, president of our city's executive council, led his light horse in breaking up the crowd. 5 men died in the Fort Wilson riot and 17 were wounded. James Wilson is not an angel, but in our new nation, everyone has the right to due process of law. Just as the writer of this piece, who was threatened with bodily harm for daring to take issue with the mob, has the right, nay, the responsibility, to write the truth as he sees it. In the United States of America, we, the people, have the freedom to write what we want to write.
I lost you for 6 years, Sarah. I'll not risk losing you forever. We couldn't help Cornstalk and Ilinipsico, something for which I will forever be sorry.
What will happen to them, Father?
They'll probably be held as hostages and traded to the Shawnee for American prisoners.
Run! Robert Gilmore! The Shawnee killed him! Get in the fort! Run!
Now I fear for our friends' lives.
They wouldn't. Ilinipsico!
I will never understand white men. They have no rules, no honor. The war has been a disaster for the Shawnee.
What will happen to us, Father?
We will fight the Americans and be destroyed.
And what will happen to us?
Maybe the Americans will trade us for soldiers. Maybe they will kill us. If they do, since we are warriors, our souls will enjoy a special place with our grandmother in heaven, where we will feast and dance forever.
I said, don't touch the Shawnees. We can swap them for our own. No, Captain. We're gonna do to them what they did to Robert.
Ilinipsico, I've seen you grow to manhood. I'm proud of the man you become.
We will have vengeance for our great chief and his son. We will make the river safe for our fishermen to fish in and our children to bathe in. We will drive the white man from the Valley of Ohio forever.
Father! What kind of land is this? Will the fighting never stop?
Sarah, listen to me. Listen to me. I was deceiving myself thinking you and your mother could join me here. The Ohio frontier is too wild. I would like to take you out of here now myself, but I can't. I must help my Shawnee friends through this difficult time. I made a solemn promise to Cornstalk that I would do so.
But what if...
I will survive this war. This too, I promise. And so will you, Sarah.
Father, I want to go home.
To Philadelphia.
To England. To Mother. I can't bear the violence anymore, Father. Can you forgive me?
There's nothing to forgive. I'll be happy to have you far away from the fighting. When the war is over, you and your mother will join me in New York or Massachusetts or Connecticut, and we will live our lives as we please together.
What if we don't want to come?
Then I shall say goodbye to this land I love and join you and your mother in England. I wonder whether she'll like me in whiskers.
Dearest Sarah, James, Henri, and Moses, now that the work of achieving a treaty with France is complete, I find my duties have become even more considerable than before. Articles to write, funds to raise, boring soirees with fine gentlemen in powdered wigs. Fiddlesticks, forget this war for a moment. How I miss you all, and how I look forward to being reunited soon in the city I love, with the people I love. How I long for the day when we shall merrily dance and sing together. I shall play my fiddle, badly of course, but no matter, because all of us, we dear, dear friends, will be living together in freedom in our new nation.
That fishing smack said John Paul Jones is stalking these waters. I'll weather a gale rather than cross that Yankee scoundrel.
But, sir!
We're a half day from England, and by goodness, sir, I mean to get home. Look out! It's coming down! Watch out!
Doctor, I have amusing news of our Captain Jean-Paul Jones.
Indeed, Foreign Minister. My sources say he is plucking the British lion's whiskers.
Oui, at their very door. He raids their towns and snaps up their ships. They call him Le Criminal.
Let us hope that great crimes bring great rewards.
What angers them most is the name he gave his ship. He named her after the French name of your amusing little book, Poor Richard's Almanac.
Ah, Les Maximes du Bonhomme Richard.
Wreckage in the water to larboard!
Here you are, miss.
How was our guest, Dr. Brooke?
A good deal better than when I arrived. Captain...
John Paul Jones. At your service, Miss,
Sarah Phillips.
Very well, Sarah Phillips. We shall get you your dry clothes and some hot food and discuss just what I'm going to do with you. Might you be a wee bit hungry after your adventure, Miss Phillips?
I feel badly about taking your cabin, Captain Jones.
Oh, you've done me an honor, Miss Phillips. It's not every first lieutenant who has his captain as a roommate.
But I must caution you, my friends. We've brought aboard Bonhomme Richard, a daughter of our enemy.
Bonhomme Richard? You named your ship in honor of Benjamin Franklin?
My friend and patron.
And mine, sir.
Sarah Phillips. The journalist. You've a keen way with a pen, young lady. Perhaps you will honor our expedition with a story.
Please forgive me, Captain Jones. I have given up my writing.
Indeed. May I ask why?
You set a fine table, Captain.
So the ship's an old East Indiaman. 900 tons of rotting timber. These 18-pound cannons were condemned by the French Navy, and I fear the crew's as cast off as the ship and weapons. There are Americans, Irish, Scotch, French, Swedish, Norwegian, Portuguese, East Indian, Royal Navy deserters, and a few not sure where they come from. Not to mention a hold full of British guests.
You've English prisoners aboard?
200 of them. These men were taken from captured ships, Miss Phillips.
What do you intend to do with them?
Sarah? Sarah Phillips?
Alec!
You know this man?
Since I could barely walk. Alec Spencer, son of my father's gamekeeper.
I'm sure you two have much to discuss. If you'll excuse me.
By heavens, Sarah! To see you here!
Not the same knobby-kneed girl you taught to ride a horse.
But how'd you end up in this nest of vipers?
I was shipwrecked coming home from America.
Had enough of those ruddy rebels, had you?
Are they treating you well?
Well enough. But with your help, it could get better. We're in spitting distance of home with a hold full of able British seamen.
You mean help you escape?
Of course. You want to strike a blow for England, don't you?
Of course I do.
Good lass. When the time comes, you'll do what's right.
Alec, I must go.
All ships have answered our signal but one, sir.
Aye, the Lion's leaving us again.
It's mutiny, sir. Clap that captain in irons.
I wish that I could, Mr. Dale. But unfortunately, I command by consent. He's within his rights.
Sail ho! 4 points abaft the beam to larboard!
There's a pretty one. Looks like a private yacht. Sailing hard to meet us, too. He must think we're British. Let's aid his confusion. Raise the British flag, Mr. Dale.
What is it, Captain? What is happening?
I'm about to turn my quarterdeck into a theater. And you and that ballet costume, Miss Phillips, had better get below. Let me understand this. Your master, Sir John Anstruther, has sent you to borrow black powder.
That's right, sir. He's got cannon and shot, but no powder. Have mercy, sir! That Yankee beast Jones is on his way!
Is he now?
You may depend on it, sir. With a convoy stuck in Bridlington Bay, waiting for the wind to shift.
Mr. Dale, give this gentleman what he needs to protect himself from that pirate, Jones. Then get him off my ship and make for Bridlington Bay.
We've got to save the convoy. We're in danger, Sarah. We can't trust this pirate. He'd as soon have our heads as breakfast.
Captain Jones seems like a man of honor.
Honor. Ask him about the towns he's attacked, the merchant sailors, English sailors like me, who'll never see home again. Ask him.
By attacking England, I hope to make the British even more weary of war. So they will surrender to us our freedom, and every ship looking for me is one fewer to burn Boston or Philadelphia.
But you were born British.
I was born a Scot, Miss Phillips. British by the point of a sword.
The Royal Navy will hunt you with 100 ships. They will hang you as a pirate.
Aye, it may come to that. But America has been my favorite country since I first saw it at the age of 13. It's a land that values people for themselves, not how big their houses are, or whether they have the title Lord before their names. Whatever the cost of liberty, Miss Phillips, I will pay it. But what of you, child? Why were you headed back to England?
It is my home, Captain Jones.
Indeed, you were born there. And why do you no longer wish to write for Dr. Franklin's newspaper?
I cannot write what I do not believe in.
Forgive me, Miss Phillips, but you strike me as someone who believes in liberty. Perhaps even as strongly as I do.
You don't understand, Captain Jones. My father, and the violence. All the pain I've seen. I'm so confused.
I think I do understand, Les. But there comes a time in every life when one must decide what one stands for. Consider yours wisely.
Sir, we sighted the convoy!
HMS Serapis. How many guns on her, Mr. Dale?
I make at least 50, sir. About 20 18-pounders to our 6. She can outshoot and outsail us. We can't fight that monster, sir.
Make for Serapis, Mr. Dale. I intend going into harm's way. Fly British colours, Mr. Dale. We must get them to hold their fire as long as possible. Signal our other ships to engage the convoy. It'll be safer below. Barely.
Ready, lads! Get ready to run out!
Look lively!
Put your backs into it!
What ship is that? Answer, or I shall be forced to fire into you!
Answer him, lads. Raise our flag and open fire.
What? Fire! Fire!
That's it, lads. Look lively. Show them what you're made of.
Mind that tackle! Run them out smartly! Fire!
Fire!
Two of our 18-pounders blew up, sir! I fear for the others!
Give the men small arms and get them on deck.
Steady now! We've got them on the run!
Master-at-arms, report.
The guns are gone! Fire's spreading! We're done for! For mercy's sake, surrender, Captain! Strike our colors!
I will sink before I lower our flag, sir.
Has your ship surrendered?
Please, Captain Jones, stop this madness!
I have not yet begun to fight.
Fire!
Fire!
He's hammering us to pieces. We must get close to him.
But how? She can sail circles round us.
We'll use our wits, Mr. Dale. Lay on all the canvas she'll carry.
He's running away! After him!
He took the bait. Hard over!
Blast it! Hard a lead!
Well done, my brave lads. We have her now. Throw grappling irons. Run her out, lads, then aim for her mainmast.
Over 3 hours and still at it.
If that Yankee pirate isn't stopped, no town on the coast will be safe.
Well, safety, sir, will come with peace. If these wretches want liberty, let them go and be done with it.
Hello? What's that?
The Alliance is back, sir! She's coming to our aid!
We've got them now, lads! She's turning broadside. She's attacking us.
The Alliance is sailing away!
Sir, water's rising down below.
Alec!
Sarah, I knew you'd come.
We're in sight of England. But Alec, the battle is horrible.
We'll put an end to Captain Jones. There! Go! Let us out! England needs your help, Sarah. Don't let her down! Come on, men! The ship is ours!
Let's take it! We'll show that pirate!
Now it's our turn!
Forward, men!
For England!
First man out of that hatch deals with me. Did you do this?
You said I'd have to choose.
I fight for freedom and liberty. Is your heart truly on the side of the oppressors?
Fight? Your guns are gone and what's left of this ship sinking right under you.
Then man the pumps. It's win or die. You have one more chance, Miss Phillips. England or freedom. Choose.
Sarah!
I'm sorry, Alec, but I must stand for freedom. I know that now.
Think about it, Sarah, because there's no turning back.
Captain Jones, I would like to help with the pumps. And if you want to survive, you'll help too.
Take her to the pumps, Mr. Dale.
We are beaten, men.
The first 5 men come with me. The rest of you, stay below.
Now serve our cause with your eyes and your pen.
British sailors fled as the brave crew of the Bonhomme Richard poured musket fire into the Serapis gun fort. The ship's carpenter, his face blackened by gunpowder, dodged flying splinters and gunfire to reach Jones and screamed,
Water's rising fast in the hold! I beg you, sir! Surrender!
Sir, did you surrender?
No, sir. I haven't as yet thought of it. but I'm determined to make you strike your colors.
An American lad climbed from the rigging of the Bonhomme Richard to the rigging of the Serapis. Directly above the enemy, he tossed a grenade into an open hatch of the Serapis's deck. The grenade landed where the Serapis stored her gunpowder. The mainmast of the Serapis splintered, crippling the great warship. Finally, the captain of the British ship had had enough.
Cease fire!
The great battle between the Bonhomme Richard and Serapis was over.
I could not take a sword from one who fought so gallantly.
Sorry to report, sir. The water's rising. We can't save the Bonhomme Richard.
She was a cast-off ship with a cast-off crew, Miss Phillips. Yet she beat the best. And she was mine.
They say that Captain Pearson might be knighted for his gallant fight.
If I have the good fortune to fall in with him again, I'll make him a lord. What will you do now, Miss Phillips?
The hardest thing I've ever done. Face my mother and tell her I'm an American. And you, Captain Jones, help me decide to do that. You wouldn't give up, like General Washington, Dr. Franklin, and so many others devoted to freedom. You inspired me, Captain Jones.
Miss Phillips, I shall look forward to many new articles under your name.
Is no one here of a mind to answer the door? Yes. Sarah! Is she...
Yes, milady. Asleep. This is the right place, then?
Yes, this is her home. I'm her mother, Lady Phillips.
Mother?
Oh, my Sarah, my dear Sarah. I was so terribly worried.
I'm here, Mother. I'm here. You found Father's letter?
He's changed, hasn't he, Sarah?
Yes, Mother, he has. He's got whiskers.
Yes, so he wrote. He also proposes, if you and I agree, to reunite the family in America after the war.
I know.
How do you feel about the idea?
Father certainly thinks we can make a go of it, but it would depend on how you feel.
I write from the banks of the Ohio River, where our distinguished soldier of the western frontier, Colonel Clark, is building a fort at Louisville. The Colonel is about to send a mission to request more aid from Governor Bernardo de Galvez of Spanish Louisiana.
Sorry, James.
Come, we're getting our marching orders from Colonel Clark.
From here to New Orleans, then past that to Mobile. It looks like a long way. And it is. Farther than you can imagine. You sure you and Henri are up to it?
For the story on Governor Galvez, sir, we'll go as far as we have to. Farther even.
Galvez is a story, all right. A soldier in the Spanish army when he was 16. He was promoted quickly and soon commanded the troops to fight the Apaches in the Spanish territories.
Adelante!
Not only did he win, but he was so gracious to his Apache captives that when word of his compassion spread among the tribes, it almost stopped the fighting.
That Spaniard's been helping us fight the British by supplying us weapons, clothes, gunpowder, and money.
Then, when Spain declared war last June, he captured 3 British positions on the Mississippi. He sure caught the attention of the English down south. And I want to continue doing that up here. Problem is, it takes weapons.
But you have weapons.
Not enough, James. Never enough.
He's right. And what we really need is money.
But don't you have...
this?
But...
Counterfeit. The British print them by the ton. Almost no one will accept colonial currency anymore.
Which is why Lieutenant Cross is going to Mobile. Galvez has powder.
He has arms.
He has money.
Just let me gather myself for a moment. Who's this bill from?
John Paul Jones, sir. He says it's urgent.
Since the good ship Bonhomme Richard went down, everything with Captain Jones is urgent. Let's have it. At least this one looks fairly reasonable. He wants a copper bottom for his new ship, the Alliance. I'm surprised he doesn't want to plate the ship in gold. My dear Jones, by all means, continue your repairs. But for goodness sake, don't bankrupt me. Yours, etc. That ought to hold him. For now.
Feels odd to be out of uniform.
Better to feel odd than to be caught by the British. Here's the list of what's required. Hand it to Galvez, and Galvez only. And guard it well. It's in plain English. No time to put it in code.
Yes, sir. Henri?
He's playing around in the woods. Henri! Come on, they're waiting for us. Henri?
James, you'll never guess what I found!
My fellow members of the House of Commons, our monarch, George III, whose reign began in such shining circumstances, has seen his hereditary provinces of America erected into an empire that disclaims all connection with him. How sadly is the scene reversed.
This is blasphemy.
I dare say he makes a point. I'm not sure.
Not only have his American colonies turned into rebels who dispute their connection with the Empire, but he is losing favor in the eyes of his own subjects.
The nerve of the man to speak of our king that way. For Charles Fox, for any Whig to speak of the king in such a manner.
I agree with him. We've gone quite a long way down what seems to be the wrong road.
Fresh gingerbread, milady.
But we cannot afford to lose the colonies.
Can we afford to keep them? This war will surely bankrupt the kingdom.
And if we do not win, there'll be no kingdom. Now even the Irish cry for independence, Lady Phillips. I'm surprised by your air of defeatism.
But, sir, I hardly think you can condemn someone as defeatist when the war is already lost. With all due respect, of course. The fighting may continue, but for Britain, America is lost.
How many days have we been on this river?
20, I guess. I sort of lost count.
I'm tired. I haven't slept for weeks, and the food is terrible.
But the land, Henri. Isn't it beautiful out here?
Yes, but there's way too much of it.
What's the matter, Henri? Afraid we'll never reach Galvez?
Not so many weevils today.
Eat hearty, lads. This night marks the hardest part of the trip.
Why? Are we sleeping on rocks again?
Usually we travel during the day, pull ashore at night, but tonight there's no moon, so we move.
Is that safe?
Safer than trying to get past the strong point at Chickasaw Bluffs in broad daylight. The Redcoats check anybody they see on the river.
We're not carrying anything suspicious. I mean, except for your secret letter asking Galvez for money and gunpowder and guns.
Yes, like many things in war, this is a deed best done in darkness.
Has something happened, Mother?
Sir Henry Clinton. He's lost 9 transport ships on the way to Charleston. All those poor boys.
Boys who'll not be forced to fight other poor boys.
Sarah, I can't imagine what things you've seen.
And you shouldn't try. Clinton's ships, where did they sail from?
New York, I should imagine. Why?
I was just wondering if ships were still sailing from here to America. In idle thought, that's all.
British.
Good. And they can't see us either.
Sandbar ahead. We'll have to draw close by the east bank.
All this just to meet the Great Galvez?
Stay down.
Almost past. Quick! There's a submerged log! Back us off! Don't let the current turn us!
I want to help too!
Henri!
Warm yet?
Almost. Oh, could this trip get any worse?
It will if the English find the letter from Colonel Clark to Governor Galvez asking for more aid.
Oh, no! Lieutenant Cross is being questioned right now!
Don't worry. Lieutenant Cross hid it in the floor of the barge right after we fished you out of the water. He'll get us out of this.
And you were taking these two?
A trading post, just north of Natchez. Loyalists, sir. To a man. We couldn't take our goods north. No, sir. Too many rebels.
And rebels have no money to buy. Well, sir, I will take your goods.
Sure. Let's make a fair price.
You misunderstand. I said take, not buy.
But...
Do you intend to stay? Because if so, perhaps we should discuss what you know of the many rebels upriver.
That won't be necessary. We'll take our leave, sir. Thanks to you and your men for coming to our aid. Henri, can you walk?
If I have to, I can run.
You don't have to run, but we are getting out of here. Now.
Achoo!
That guard, he found the letter to Galvez.
He's opening it. Do they put everybody in jail? Or just the one whose letter it is?
Boy, I'm really glad you found that. It's a letter to my mother, kind of personal.
Just a moment. I'm supposed to look things over. Everything. Right. Off with you then.
What just happened here?
He couldn't read the letter. Not a word.
How do you know?
He was holding it upside down, like Henri used to do.
Liar! I never did! Well, maybe sometimes.
This is it. London to New York shipping agents.
After almost 2 months, we finally caught up to Governor Galvez in Mobile. Lieutenant Cross has gone to see Oliver Pollard, Virginia's agent here, to arrange a meeting with him. Looks like we missed all the action.
Governor Galvez, this is the young journalist I was telling you about.
Not me, James!
I was just kidding. Welcome, Senor Hiller. And you must be Henri, the one who fell in the water.
I can't help but notice the diverse makeup of your army. Are these all your men?
Come, walk with me. I have professional soldiers, regulars drawn from regiments in Spain, Mallorca, and Havana. The Cubans have not forgotten the English occupation in Havana. I have fleet blacks and mulattoes, local militia, men, and even American volunteers. The local militia fight for their homes. Others, like the Indians, fight because they hate the English for giving weapons to their enemies.
Sounds like the British made a lot of enemies.
Fortunately, you're fighting for us.
Make no mistake, amigo. I hope soon you'll have your America. But what I do for my king and Mother Spain. No one else. At last, Teniente, I can turn my attention to your request. With this signature, anything you require will be supplied.
Thanks. Where are you going after you take Mobile, Governor?
As far as the British will let me push them. East to Pensacola, into the sea, perhaps.
Look at it this way. Each English soldier Galvez keeps busy down here is one less for General Washington to fight up there.
Those will be much more impressive in a few weeks when they bloom. Spring, a new beginning.
There's something new beginning, Mother, but it's not in England.
Sarah.
Here, we go by the old rules of class and custom. Most of our people simply can't be heard.
Nonsense. You heard Charles Fox yourself in Parliament.
I heard him, and Chatham and Burke and Rockingham before him. And nothing has changed. We both know it.
And your America will be different?
They say it will be. I hope it will be.
My dear, after the war, we'll join your father there. But for now...
I can't wait. I've realized I'm part of this revolution. A small part, but I have to be there to see it to the end.
That's why you went to Mr. Bentley, the shipping agent.
You knew?
Of course I knew, Sarah. I'm your mother.
What am I to do?
I suppose you should pack. Your ship leaves Portsmouth on Friday.
Oh.
Fuego!
The English commander of Fort Charlotte was stubborn, but he was no fool. He knew relief wasn't going to get there in time. He defended his position against Galvez's superior force. To keep fighting would have been a waste of time and men.
It's off to New Orleans. We'll load our supplies and head upriver to meet Colonel Clark.
Doesn't it take longer to go upstream?
Surely. We could mount a small sail. There's a lot of poling, rowing, rope tows from shore.
How long?
4 months.
4?
I knew you'd feel that way. So I asked Governor Galvez to put you on a boat to Havana. You'll get a merchantman there and be in Philadelphia in a couple of weeks.
Henri! Henri, did you hear that? We're... Henri?
Not to worry, ladies. A month chained below decks, all the fight out of them.
They're Americans?
They are. Another lot of bodies for Fulton Prison. Keep moving. We offered them a chance to join the Royal Navy. Instead, they chose the cells. What were they thinking?
Of loyalty, perhaps. Patriotism.
Huh? Best come away, miss.
Courage. Mother, there's something I must tell you.
What, dear?
I feel I'm an American too. Dearest Mother, as my long journey ends, and I approach Dr. Franklin's Philadelphia, I grow increasingly uneasy. Though I believe deeply that I am where I belong, the pain of so recently leaving both you and Father is, I must admit, difficult to bear. I'm embarrassed to say it, but I feel ever so alone. friends here. What will James, Moses, and Henri think of me now? Probably that I'm a silly girl who keeps changing her mind about who she really is. Moses? Oh.
Slow down, James.
Prices are still so high, Moses. I don't see how we can... Moses?
Sarah?
Hi.
Sarah!
Sarah, what? Why?
Because I finally realized something. I realized I am an American.
Welcome home.
Well, it's about time, isn't it?
James, I feel so wonderful, even you can't ruin it.
What? Hey!
Aren't you glad to see me? I have so much to tell you about. John Paul Jones, and England, and Mother, and Parliament, and 2 ocean journeys with the worst food I ever ate, and, where's Henri? I thought that...
That's it! Hey! Stop it! Ow! Take it back! Never! You are a liar! Am not!
Stop it, both of you!
Sarah? I'll show you! I got you now! Do not! Put me down! I'm gonna tell my father! He called Dr. Franklin a fraud and a blowhard!
Henri, he's just saying that to make you angry.
I am not! Well, if he is, it's working!
Stop it! Now! Now, how did this start?
When Charles said bad things about Dr. Franklin, I said, take it back or else. He wouldn't, so I taught him a lesson he'll never forget.
Ha! Doesn't Charles have the right to his own opinion, even if you disagree with it?
Yes, but...
That's part of being free. Haven't you learned anything from Moses and Dr. Franklin?
I guess.
Then maybe you should apologize for starting the fight.
I'm sorry I punched you first. But you're wrong about Dr. Franklin. I am not!
Stop shouting. Why do you think Dr. Franklin is a fraud and a blowhard?
I don't know. My dad told me.
I want to show you something. Look around, Charles. What do you see?
Junk? See?
In a way, he's right, Henri. It used to be junk.
Until Dr. Franklin got his hands on it.
Did you know Ben Franklin is an inventor?
No. Moses, play for him. Play for me, please.
Truce?
Fine. Fine.
All right, then. This is an invention of Dr. Franklin's called the glass harmonica. See how the different sized glass bowls turn together as I rotate the crank? And when I touch the edge of one of the bowls, Thank you kindly.
Moses, tell him about this.
Do you know what this key did, Charles?
Unlock the door to the crown jewels?
Not exactly, but it opened another door to a new world of electricity. It was in 1752 when Dr. Franklin was 46 years old.
As soon as any of the thunderclouds come over the kite, the pointed wire will draw the electric fire from them. When the rain has wet the twine so that it can conduct the electric fire freely, you will find it stream out plentifully from the key on the approach of your knuckle.
He caught sparks. So what?
For one thing, in case you don't believe Dr. Franklin is a man of courage, the next man who tried the same experiment died. And what a discovery Dr. Franklin made! As we learn to control those sparks, we'll be able to use their energy
to power boats.
Or drive carriages without horses.
Or even help to cook, Charles. Dr. Franklin tried it once. Like many scientific experiments, it did not work out well. It was 2 days before Christmas. Dr. Franklin was hosting a dinner party.
Demonstration this evening.
My Dr. Franklin's inventions are fascinating.
That is so daring.
I have a Franklin stove.
You know, the French are quite keen on getting their hands on his ideas,
He did not like to see an animal suffer needlessly and hoped to use electricity to end its life painlessly.
Dr. Franklin!
Let me help.
Oh, my!
Are you all right?
Oh yes, perfectly fine.
I want to try that!
Yeah!
Absolutely not. Electricity can be very dangerous.
James's parents died in a fire started by an electrical storm.
To prevent fires started by lightning, Ben invented this.
A lightning rod. With Ben's new device attached to the roof, the lightning bolt was attracted to the point of the rod. The electricity traveled down a copper wire into the ground. Of course, in Ben's house, he sent the charge through an apparatus that rang some small bells. In a large storm, the bells could ring for hours.
I want to invent things like Dr. Franklin someday.
Me too. I wish I had a fancy education like he did.
Fancy education? Let me tell you about Ben's fancy education.
What kind of lies are you filling my son's head with? Come here, Charles.
They're not lies, sir. Would you like to hear for yourself?
I insist on hearing for myself, so I can be sure to correct them.
Charles just told us Dr. Franklin had a fancy education.
Wonder where the kid heard that.
Sir, that is simply not the case. Dr. Franklin grew up in Boston, directly across from Old South Church, in a home filled to bursting with 12 brothers and sisters. Ben was crushed to learn his family could no longer afford to send him to class. He was 9 years old. His father put him to work in the family business, making candles. Ben spent the money he earned on his greatest love, books. Ben Franklin had no fancy education, Charles. Ben Franklin taught himself.
Does your family borrow books from the Library Company of Philadelphia, Charles?
Of course.
Ben Franklin founded it, along with the American Philosophical Society, the Union Fire Company, the College of Philadelphia, and the Pennsylvania Hospital.
Charles, have you ever had the misfortune to be sick or injured?
Never. The boy's strong, like his father.
You're both lucky. And if you lived in the days before Dr. Franklin founded that hospital, being healthy would have made you even luckier. Many poor, ill, and insane people were reduced to wandering the streets of Philadelphia. It was a terrible situation. Now, in the Pennsylvania hospital, there's a place for the sick. Just as importantly, people started learning how to be doctors. This awful war gave them a chance to learn firsthand about the human body. Seeking to ease the terrible suffering, they've taken to the battlefields. There, they've been confronted with every injury and sickness you could imagine, and then some. Thanks to our doctors' newfound experience, people are being cured of illnesses and healed from injuries in ways that were never possible before.
Mr. Montgomery, did you ever read Dr. Franklin's Poor Richard's Almanac? Dr. Franklin published the first edition of Poor Richard's Almanac when he was 26 years old. It contained all the usual weather reports, recipes, and predictions. What set it apart were the lively writing and witty sayings.
A penny saved is a penny earned. There are no gains without pains. A learned blockhead is a greater blockhead than an ignorant one. He that lies down with dogs shall rise up with fleas.
Library, philosophy, college, almanacs, all very amusing. But my money's no longer worth anything. I'm tired of this war. And Ben Franklin, as much as any other man, started us on this road to ruin.
Mr. Montgomery, you have to understand where Dr. Franklin's deep commitment to freedom comes from.
He wrote, in 1717, my brother James returned from England
with a press and letters to set up his business in Boston. I signed indentures when I was but 12 years old to serve as an apprentice for the next 9 years of my life.
Presenting this week's issue of the New England Courant, featuring the latest column by Mrs. Silence Dogood. Listen, I reflected in my mind on the extreme folly of those parents who, blind to their children's dullness and insensible of the solidity of their skulls, will needs send them to the Temple of Learning, by which she meant Harvard College. Isn't that hilarious?
It's very funny, all right.
I'd love to know who this sharp-tongued lady really is.
James, I am Mrs. Silence Dogood. I've been writing that column and slipping it under the door in the middle of the night, watching everyone laugh at my words, but never being able to take credit for them. Do you know how that feels?
James grew increasingly abusive with his 17-year-old brother.
Aren't you finished yet? I don't want to be here all night.
I'm hurrying, I'm hurrying.
You idiot! You did that on purpose!
It was an accident.
I don't believe you! And I've had enough of your disrespect!
Dr. Franklin left soon after.
He never forgot his brother's harsh and tyrannical treatment, Mr. Montgomery. That's where Dr. Franklin got that aversion to arbitrary power, which that has stuck to me through my whole life.
It's also one of the reasons he's taken such a strong stand against slavery.
Slavery is the economic foundation of our southern states, and many of us in the North have made our profits from slave labor too. With all respect, sir, whoever freed you made a mistake. That said, I admit you do make solid points about Benjamin Franklin.
You are entitled to your opinion about slavery, sir, though by what you say, you would deny me mine.
Where's Charles? Where's my son?
And where's Henri?
Look out! I can't control him!
Henri!
Sarah, I almost didn't get to hear you tell me about your trip. Moses!
Thank you, sir. I am glad you are a free man.
You are welcome. And I hope someday you will say that to an African man who did not just save the life of your son.
Dearest James, Sarah, and Henri, I know you wish you could see me, but as you can't, I will describe myself to you. Figure me in your mind as jolly as formerly, and as strong and hearty, only a few years older. Very plainly dressed, wearing my thin gray straight hair that peeps out from under my fine fur cap. Think how this must appear among the powdered heads of Paris. Still, they mob me.
On behalf of the British Crown, I would be most...
Good evening.
I don't believe it. Sacre bleu.
Bonsoir. Bonsoir. Côte de Virgin, Ben Franklin at your service.
Dr. Franklin, what a surprise. Welcome to Versailles.
A man of my years is happy to be welcomed anywhere. But I tell you this, there have been unknown people as great as any of the most famous. However, my dear friends, if you would not be forgotten as soon as you are dead and rotten, either write things worth reading or do things worth writing. And children, I am quite certain that you shall.